Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another edition on the Compound Zoo, or welcome if you are new. I know, I actually have makeup on. It's surprising. I had some photo shoots I had to do today, so you get the glam face today, which is really weird because I'm about to go in the garden and get really, really dirty. So today we are going to be planting a bunch of seeds that I got from Baker's Creek, and then, oh God, and then a couple that I got off of Amazon. I have more coming from, I think they're called Tomato Growers is the company. And I'm looking at another seed company called Dill Seeds. Guys, I have a problem.
Hi.
There's a kid. So we've got, I also have some honeydew seeds, also honeydew seeds that I dried out from our melon. May or may not plant these. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but bunch of seeds I gotta plant today, including getting some planted into the oh God, what's it called? Vertical planter thing that I'm growing my tea garden in, because some of these are direct sown. They're not being sown in little cups. So let's go. Okay, y'all, so I am finally on the front porch garden. I'm actually in like this little side offshoot where the rest of my plants kind of go that way along the banister. I am in this tiny corner where the potatoes and cucumbers are growing, and for right now I'm going to try and set you on my vertical planter. I decided the first thing I wanted to work on was replanting and fixing my carrots. So from Baker Creek, I ended up getting these Pusa Ruhira carrots. They're red. I think it's just the skins that are red and the inside are the traditional orangish yellow. But I wanted to try something a little different. So I have traditional like orange carrots.
Oh, see, like these are growing babies. Oh, I should have left these. All right, I think I'm gonna leave some of these. Maybe. I usually roll with them.
So I have traditional orange carrots growing in cups, and I want to see how they do in cups and then transplanting them versus just growing them right here in the pot. So right now I'm actually kind of just taking care of the carrot tops that have died. There are a couple of carrots in here that are still going strong. But this is our first batch of carrots, and honestly all we did was kind of just like sprinkle them all over, and honestly only like a handful grew and they all grew together. So I'm gonna try and see if I can save any of these. I think I'm only saving, what about you? Am I saving you? No, you're dead. Come back here, you're dead. So it looks like out of all the carrots that we have, we ended up only saving 3 or 4. What about this one? You did. Sometimes it's really hard to tell. There's one that I can actually see carrots growing. Let me show you guys. So after I cleaned off all of this, I was able to actually look into my carrots, and you can see there's a carrot growing here. It's definitely not ready yet. There may be one here. It may be a bit of a stretch. Let's see if I can dig around it. I'm near you. Yeah, it looks like there's a little one coming up. So I'm gonna end up doing is I'm going to till probably this side. So from this side over, I want to leave those alone. Those are my first carrots I planted, so I want to till without breaking stuff. I want to till this side, get it all aerated and built up, and then I'm gonna plant some of the red carrots. So I really wanted to aerate the soil because carrots like a loose soil. It helps them grow. And because this has been sitting here since basically I started the garden, I think in like May, I wanted to make sure that when I broke it up, everything was still loose. The underneath soil from the very top layer was nice and loose, so I don't think that is is or was preventing some carrot growth. I think it was just the overstuffing of the carrots and then the heat, and then I originally think I was just watering them way too much. So yeah, for now, like I said, aerating the soil, getting all nice and grimy. I love the smell of fresh mixed dirt. And the next thing I am going to do, grab my hose. I'm going to wet the top of the soil before I put the carrots in. By doing that, it creates a nice moist layer where if I just go in and bury them and then try to plant them, the seeds are going to get thrown all over. So I'm just going to moisten the soil, and then we're going to open the carrot seeds. They're red skin and pink and orange inside, so that should be cool. And there's superior production and heat tolerance, which is great. So they'll sprout in about 12 to 18 days, and they are frost hardy. So the thing with most carrots, these ones are not any different, is they're teeny tiny. That's a bunch of carrot seeds. So I'm going to take them, and they need to be planted 2 to 3 inches apart. So I'm going to just kind of pat down the soil. Alright, so I got them in the soil, pushed them down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to take just a bowl of soil. So this is just Miracle-Gro potting mix with a little bit of fertilizer in it. Nope, just kidding on that. So my next step, I'm going to take my homemade compost and just cover them to create a barrier between them and the elements, and it also helps amend the sand a little bit so it creates some nutrients in there as well. So we've got eggshell for calcium and some pine shavings to create a moisture barrier, and just for some added coverage, just 2 sprinklings of soil, just a kid's spoon. So I think it's a teaspoon. I'm gonna go ahead and water this again. And I can't forget the little tag that says what they are, and on the back I'm putting when I planted them. Since these have 2 different types of carrots in this bucket, I'm doing container planting for my carrots because I don't think my 12-inch deep planter box is gonna be big enough. I've never tried. I've honestly never grown carrots at all. This is my first year, and honestly we already see how that's going. So I've got the carrots in here, and now it's time to remove this and get on with the rest of the seeds. So the next thing we're going to plant needs to be direct sown, and this is dill elephant. It is going in my vertical garden because what I'm using this garden for is going to end up being a tea and herb garden. I do have down here in the bottom, which is kind of wilting because I didn't take care of it for a few days. It's some echinacea. On this side over here that you can't see, there's jasmine. Up at the top there's going to be a raspberry bush. I'm hoping there's going to be a raspberry bush. I planted one up there, but I think the container is too small, so it might have to go. I might have to take out these flowers because I think they're going to be too big, but we'll see. I might just have to build up the dirt. So I'm going to plant this elephant dill in this little spot right here, and we'll go from there. This takes about 10 to 14 days to germinate, which means it's going to take 10 to 14 days for little seedlings to start popping up out of the sand, dirt, soil, stuff. I've already amended all the I can talk, guys. I've already amended all the dirt that's in here, so everything has already had the proper mixture of fertilizer and compost and potting soil. So I'm gonna plant these next. Now, dill seeds are also rather small. Like most seeds, especially herb seeds, they are rather tiny, and I only need a couple to go in this pot. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take 2 or 3 and plant them in that hole. That way it doesn't become overrun with dill. And it gives me about a 3-shot chance of one of them actually growing, because not every seed that you plant is going to sprout. So after I planted the dill and I got the little marker in there, I decided to take my echinacea out of the vertical garden. I just don't feel like it's going to prosper and bloom where I want it to. So I'm gonna take the raspberry bush out too, and the boyfriend wants to show you our turkey that he's not supposed to be getting attached to. There's no turkey head, there's no baby head. Before anyone comments, that mark from a rabbit. Look at it fall asleep. They're about a week old. Yeah, you're about a week old. My friend said that he needs his own Animal Planet show, because that's what he does. He just puts all the birds to sleep every time he holds them. Oh my god, guys. They look dead. He's looking at his little snores. Look at its baby feet. Go, we don't eat your baby feet.
You woke it up as you touched its feet.
It's so cute. I hope you guys didn't. Oh my god, its head just fell. Whoa, guys, whoa, what's up? Hi, baby. Hope y'all are enjoying this little baby turkey break. Hi, bud. I wish I knew where you were. Hey, baby. Oh, back to sleep. So I hope y'all enjoyed that baby turkey break. So yeah, like I was saying, the raspberry bush I'm going to take out and put into a bigger container, kind of probably the same size as my blueberry bush. Just I feel like it's not going to thrive in its current pot. And then the jasmine over here. So this is jasmine. This is made of Orland's jasmine. I may actually leave her. She's fully covered. She went all the way down to the bottom, so I may leave her there. And then down there is mint, which is getting attacked by bugs. So obviously that's gonna stay just because, you know. So I think what I'm gonna plant next, I kind of want to focus on the this thing, the tower. I think my next, do I have anything on this second? No, I don't. All right, so my next adventure in this little pot is gonna end up being sage. So the sage I got again from Baker's Creek is this broadleaf sage. I'm gonna be using sage for obviously both cooking purposes and I can feed it to the bunnies, I can smudge with it, and sage on, like, to me just smells amazing. So this is a surface sow with barely covering. Direct sow outdoors about the time of last frost. We're well past our last frost. It sprouts in about 7 to 21 days. So I remember reading that and I was like, hey, that's an awfully long time. Not like long like sprouting time, but like that's a pretty big window from 1 week to 3 weeks. So just like I did with the dill, I'm gonna plant probably 3 seeds in there. And if I need to take cuttings out, I will, and just give them to my local neighbors. But the seeds for these little guys look like itty bitty little balls. They are super tiny. So I am just going to, let's see, where is my cup? I'm gonna fill this up a little more with some dirt. This, again, my vertical garden already has, it's already amended with the soil that I need. So it has regular soil, and then it has compost, and then it has a little bit of fertilizer in there. So I'm just gonna pour the rest of this potting soil mix, and this is just potting soil mix. I don't use anything fancy, I just use Miracle-Gro. Because I don't trust myself to make my own gardening soil mix yet. I probably should. I heard it's a lot cheaper and a lot better for the plants, but that's probably something I will end up tackling next year. So for now, this is just my first year gardening, and I kind of just want to see what happens using store-bought stuff. I'm also not entirely sure how it is cheaper making your own soil. Because to make your own soil, you need like peat moss and some other stuff, and that stuff's not cheap. All right, so I got my 3 seeds. If I can grab the other one. And we're just gonna push it into the top just like we did with the carrots. Just like that. And then I'm gonna take a handful and just lightly cover the top. All right, and then, like with the rest, take my little marker and my marker, and then write that it is sage. So the next thing I would like to plant that I am also using for both tea and for medicinal medicine purposes is Dandelion. I got this packet of seeds off of Amazon, and these are from Leaf and Garden. All I did was type in dandelion seeds, and that's what came up. They were only a couple of bucks. But these are direct sow, and they germinate in about 14 to 21 days, so in about 2 to 3 weeks. And these are how tiny the seeds are in this one. So again, just like with my other seeds that I've been doing, I'm gonna throw a handful of dirt in this pot, smooth it out. And then I'm going to take my finger and push down into the dirt until about here and see what happens. I'm going to do about 2 seeds on this one because dandelions they're weeds, so they take over like weeds. So if I need to transplant these, I can grab one and either transplant it out into the front garden or gift it to someone in our community. All right, y'all, so here's where things get a little bit different. I now have my giant pot. I'm going to remove my giant raspberry bush from on top of my vertical garden, and we're gonna put it in this giant pot. And then we're gonna amend it a little bit further and put some of this fruit and citrus fertilizer in there. I don't measure, I probably should, but I'm pretty good at measuring by hand because it's just kind of how I cook. So I've gotten used to what measurements are. So right now I'm going to till up this sand, oh my God, guys, I swear I can talk. I'm gonna till up the soil and make sure that it is nice and loose and there are no large clumps in it and everything is all nice and mixed in. And then we're gonna transplant the raspberry bush. Okay guys, so honestly, here comes the fun part. So the other day I planted a bunch of seeds, yeah, so the other day, probably, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I planted a bunch of seeds in little eggshell cartons. I realized upon doing that, it does not give enough space for roots to grow. So I transplanted everything into these teeny tiny clear snack cups. They are, I want to say they're like 2 ounces each. They're 5 ounces. So they're 5 ounces each. And I just put some potting soil, so this stuff, mixed with a little bit of, oh my God, Dr. Earth's herb and vegetable fertilizer, because everything I was transplanting, with the exception of chamomile and lavender, were vegetables. There was beans and carrots, and I think I put some lettuce and spinach and some okra. So I had everything in those nice little pails, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I'm not gonna talk through this whole process. I will talk you guys through my first step to show you guys what I do, and then I'm just gonna speed through the rest of this process because there is a lot of repetitive steps. So first thing I do is I just get a giant mixing bowl and a giant scoop, and I just scoop out some dirt. Make sure I break up all of the clumps, because again, we want a nice aerated soil when it comes to planting, because it gives the plants a chance to spread their roots. All right, and then I'm going to take just a small handful. Oh, nope, I've got a cup in here. So I take my 5 ounce cup. I do not use the whole 5 ounces, and I just lightly sprinkle just a little bit, maybe about 2 or 3 tablespoons, if at that, on top of the soil mixture, and I mix that all up. And that's all I do. I don't add compost to this. I won't add compost to the seedlings until I'm getting ready to transplant them into the garden, and then I will throw a little compost in the hole where they're going to be planted. So that is the first thing I do. The next thing is I am going to select from my myriad of seeds and put them in here. So I really want to get some more strawberries done. Should have enough time for this strawberry. This is Baron von Solmager. They are really cool looking. They don't look like your traditional strawberry. I'm really wondering what they're gonna taste like. And I always follow these sowing directions that are on the packet, or if they're not on there, I Google them. So for this one, this is barely covered with light soil. So what I'm going to do, just like I did with the other seeds, I'm going to fill my cup and pat it down just a little bit, because I am going to throw a light coating on top. God, guys, they're like stuck to the glue. But do you see all those little dots? So I have to be super careful with these. I'm going to take one seed, drop it in there, and sprinkle with dirt. And normally, if I was in the house doing this, I would take another little Pyrex cup full of water and water these. But since I'm outside, I'm going to water them all at once. So I'm just going to write that this is strawberry. And then at the bottom of the cup, I write P with the date. Just so that I know when I go to check on my seedlings and see, hey, what's growing and what's not, I can compare to how long they should take. So most plants I do about 5 seeds, unless it's something I really want. Like we did carrots. I think we did 15 carrot seeds of the traditional orange carrots. We did 6 of sugar snap magnolia peas. So it really just all depends on how much fruit I want to yield. Oh my god, these seeds are so tiny. Strawberries I'm going to do 5, because I mean, if they all take great. I can plant them where I need to. If not, then I hopefully have at least 1 strawberry bush. So the thing with strawberry plants, just like blueberry plants, they don't really produce a whole lot within their first year.
And I just dumped all of my seeds.
Alright, so this is what the cups look like when they're done, and then they just go in a little clear shoebox. The shoebox is really just easier for me to carry them to where I need them to go, and then if I need to pull them down to look at them, I'm not reaching up and knocking over a bunch of other cups. So that's how I do it. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a little bit and get the rest of my seeds done, get as many as I can before either A, I run out of cups, or B, run out of seeds that I'm going to plant. So I'll be back in a little bit.
20 minutes later.
And I got about 15 new seedling cups planted, and my butt is covered in dirt and seed and compost, because I just dumped everything on the floor and I sat in it. But yeah, so there are 2 seeds that I didn't end up getting done. I didn't end up planting oh my god, the purple beans. I don't know what they are. What were they? I did not end up planting the blauhide, which are these purple like pole bean looking things, and then the Japanese giant red mustard leaves. So both of them require direct sowing. I don't have room because they would go over there, and I don't have room. So we need to go get wood this weekend and create our planter boxes, and then stuff for our trellises, because I also need to trellis those cucumbers. But I got, like I said, 15 seeds done on top of what I planted in the vertical garden bed. I'll show you guys real quick before I sign off where I put my seedlings while they're growing in the little cups. On the front porch, yes, it is a mess. This is kind of what happens when I start gardening. Everything kind of gets thrown everywhere. But I put these seedling cups in these shoe boxes and just put them on top of the hutch up here. So these ones that are growing are beans. So then, like I said, I can pull a box down, check the soil level, see actually if these need to get watered. They might, because I planted them a few days ago. So because they're clear, I can pull them out and see just how wet the soil is. So the soil is still actually wet, so it'll prevent me from overwatering. And then like I can look at this one. This one looks like it's really dry. But if you look deep beneath the soil, it's still wet. So these will probably need another day or two before I water them, but it's just easier to have them in these little shoe boxes that I got from Walmart. They're 84 cents a piece. And put them up on top of the rabbit hutch. So not only are they getting sun hardy or weather hardy for where I live in SoCal, it's also just out of the way. And still with the rest of the gardening stuff. This makes me really sad, guys. We're gonna ignore that for a little bit. That's for another video. But yeah, so that's my seedling starters for right now. And eventually I will plant the mustard greens and the beans. So I do have more seeds coming from tomato growers. And like I said, I may end up having some seeds coming from quail seeds. I haven't quite looked. Okay, I haven't quite finished looking to see if I'm going to order anything else from them. Probably not, because I am running out of garden space. Even though I still have room, like I can build more boxes. I don't think my partners appreciate me constantly like running back to Lowe's to get more dirt and to get more wood to build planter boxes. I am waiting on 2 planter boxes from a local person somewhere here in my little city, town, area thing, who's giving away 2 free planter boxes. So hopefully she gets back to me so I can pick them up, because that would save me a bunch of money. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Be sure to thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at TheCompoundZoo. And stay tuned for some more homesteading videos. I'm not sure what my next video is going to be. It might be about those guys and what their purpose is on our homestead. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any specific type of homesteading in Southern California information type of video that you'd like to know about, and I'll get it done for you guys. Until next time, bye guys.